Good evening, Nigeria, and good evening all over the world, wherever you're watching us from, and particularly to all the citizens and indigents of Akwa Ibom State and other residents. We want to say good evening and welcome you to the Governor Speaks. This is a special edition of the program, coming at a very particular time that we are celebrating Akwa Ibom State at 34. And no doubt everyone has come to the understanding and agreement that Akwa Ibom State in the last 34 years, particularly in the last 6 years of Governor Udom Emmanuel, has met the dreams of the founding fathers of this state. And today we are rolling out the drums to celebrate Akwa Ibom State at 34, side by side with the completion agenda of His Excellency the Governor. It's not every time you have an opportunity to interact live with any governor in the world. But this is one governor who has made it a duty quarterly, sometimes monthly. He comes out to explain the policies of government, how he runs the business of the government of Akwa Ibom State on behalf of the people. What else can we say for a governor who has done this 8 times already, and here we are in the 9th series of the program since we started last year. Kudos to the governor who is always available to talk to his people. I therefore welcome His Excellency Governor Udom Emmanuel to this program. Your Excellency, the Governor Speaks, Series 9. You've come a long way.
Welcome, fellow citizens of the world, specifically Akwa Ibomites in Nigeria and in the diaspora. Let me also welcome those that pray for us, those that admire us, and those that wish us well. Welcome to the 9th edition of our program. And I think James will do the introduction of those with us on the program. Thank you.
Because this is a special edition, we've had to bring in some special guests to help us talk to you on behalf of Akwa Ibom people. Let me introduce the General Manager of Inspiration FM here in Akwa Ibom State. He's an astute journalist, editor, broadcaster, writer, and a public relations strategist. Samuel Udom Emmanuel. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And for gender balancing, of course, a few weeks ago, the governor inaugurated a special committee to take care of the gender issues, to have
and you were the only male.
They call me more women. Nomi Young, Your Excellency, is a very enterprising, on-air personality. She's a rising star who has made a huge mark in the media world. I'm sure for those who are hearing the name Nomi Young, they will not know the person I'm referring to. So let me say, Madam Speaker, welcome to the program as you speak.
Thank
to
you.
His Excellency.
Thank you.
Excellency, Madam Speaker, she is the speaker on the popular
People's Parliament.
People's Parliament. Oh, Your Excellency, you follow the program. Mami, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you.
And because you are gender sensitive, we'd like to give you the privilege to fire the face salvo.
All right, thank you very much. Your Excellency, it's a pleasure to be here. As we celebrate Akwa Ibom at 34, as a state and as a people, we pride ourselves to be among the top states in Nigeria in terms of infrastructure, human capital, and other development indices. With all of this progress, we've seen visitors come into the state to testify as well. Would you say the vision of the founding fathers has been fully realized?
Naomi, thanks for giving me the opportunity first to say congratulations to all Akwa Ibomites. Anywhere you are on planet Earth, congratulations. It's not every vision born that can survive for 34 years. It's not every child that is being given birth to that can survive for 34 years. It's not every union that can survive for 34 years. But for as a single entity and people of the God Almighty called Akwa Ibomites, surviving for 34 years, waxing stronger, the bond binding us stronger. I think all of you deserve to be congratulated on this platform. Then looking at the state in the past 34 years, in line with the vision of our founding fathers, I just want to believe also Nomi will come back, because I was thinking she was going to start me with COVID-19 that I'm known for in this program, because I need to have a living population first. But going by the vision of our founding fathers, I would say to a large extent that, that we're on the right path. We've not reached the promised land yet, but are we on our way to the promised land? The answer is yes. Why am I saying so? Look at, others that have been in the same with us over the period. Some states that were even into existence long before us. How many can boast of what we have today? I don't think there are that many. I also want to appreciate the people, because you see, all this where we reach today is because we have the right people, and from leadership to followership. And I think that had really helped us a whole lot. And all under the grace of the Almighty. As you know, I will always acknowledge. Our forefathers and our forebears actually had a good vision in mind for us to stay united. I just also want to believe, I've addressed this elaborately during my address on the 34th anniversary, I think 2-3 days ago, which I had to address the entire state and the entire world on our 34th anniversary. I took time to also iron this out on which cord of strength that we stand, and how when our founding fathers could see the cord of our unity, and Ibibio State Union was actually cited in Anang land. Then what we used to call the Ibibios were actually Akwa Ibomite. There was no Chinese wall, demarketing, and I think that's what we're actually coming back to preach under our Dakada philosophy. And with the Dakada philosophy, people are coming to imbibe that same spirit of our forebears, and also the vision that we are to come together as a people to seek the creation of the state. So with that in mind, I can say that yes, we're on the right path. We've achieved a whole lot as a people. We are not there yet, but we'll soon be there.
Thank you, Excellency. We normally want to set the tone. Your Excellency, let me also inform you that the time comes of this program, then when we open the phone lines as usual, all over the world they will join us. So in the interest of our radio listeners, of course, this program is being joined by all the 9 radio stations in Akwa Ibom State. Let me also inform you that you can join us via all our social handles, Akwa Ibom State Government, aka Moise, and www.akwaibomstategovernment.ng online. Of course, you can also join us via the governor's personal handles, Mr. Udom Emmanuel. And so in the interest of our radio listeners, the numbers, please take note of these numbers: 0907 240 5876 and 0805 506 911. Your Excellency, the man in charge of all the phone calls and all the social media interaction today is Boron Abasi. Of course, Boron would also need much introduction. He's a good man when it comes to the business of publicity. Welcome to the program, Boron.
So good to be here.
20 minutes, we'd like to bring you on board to bring about the interactions. Okay, sir. You should have a question.
Okay, Your Excellency, congratulations once more.
Thank you.
And you did mention the issue of COVID, which of course is close to your heart in tackling. There's a new wave in town. All of us are aware of that. And I'm just beginning to wonder, what is the vaccination level of the people? Are they accepting that vaccines?
And maybe the Excellency can also add, what are the state government, what are since the last time we met, what has government done to mitigate against the pandemic?
Well, James, I would have allowed you say your testimony on what we've done. Because you said the proof of pudding is in the eating. I think you've tested this thing, and I'm sure tomorrow, if they tell you COVID is coming this way, you take the other way. You take the other way out. Well, let me use this platform again to appreciate our health workers. I think they've done marvelously over time. All the professors of cardiology, all the virologists, all the internal medicine practitioners, because you need them also, because there are a lot of people coming with a lot of comorbidity, that internal medicine practitioners, consultants will also need to be on board. So you could see all hands on deck, the nurses, even up to the person who cleans the bed sheet that our patients sleep on. I want to use this platform, honestly, to appreciate all of them. You see, it's one thing for you to agree to pay people money for services. It's another thing for people to do those things passionately. I think I've seen that passion in this team to actually save lives. And that gets me so much endeared to all of them. So they've done so well. Back to vaccination. Well, I would say that I'm not too impressed by people's reaction to this vaccine. Not only in Akwa Ibom, but I think all over the world. I'm sure some of you see even in the United States, other campaigners coming to campaign against the vaccine, all kinds of write-ups. Now there's another school of thought that is coming, trying to throw all kinds of things at the vaccine. But also, I think the developed nations are not also helping matters. Because if one of the developed nations of the world, let me say one of the founding fathers of country Nigeria, could come up and tell you that any Nigerian who are taking a particular vaccine, when it comes to their own country, the person will be taken as if he wasn't vaccinated. So I think it's discouraging. And they are not helping matters at all. I just want to believe the Presidential Task Force will also look into some of this. Because when you see people developing cold feet, when you see apathy in situations like this, these days, just one sentence you make will envelope the whole world in less than a few minutes. Everybody will get to see, get to hear. The world is becoming a global village in terms of communication. So I don't think we are doing enough in pushing the right communication to the people to embrace this vaccine. And it's really affecting the turnout. I have the statistics here. The Moderna that everybody was shouting, I'm waiting for Moderna, I'm waiting for Moderna. You can't believe as of today, the number of male who had come for this vaccine, only 14,222. Female, 12,680. The AstraZeneca, there's also something I observed, which we also need to watch at. I've also told the ministry and especially the Commissioner for Health, my honorary special advisor on COVID, and even the chairman of COVID, who is the SSG. Under the AstraZeneca, the first dose, those that took the first dose, they were 4,332. But when we started administering the second dose, 5,528 took it. So which means that amongst those who said they were coming for second dose, apparently they did not take the first. And if people are in that bracket, please, they need to come back and take again. Because, a Igbo man will tell you, a deceit that cannot deceive is not a deceit. So this is one of them. So how come you didn't take the first dose? You're taking the second dose. How come the number of people that took the first dose is fewer than those that took the second dose? So I get worried at that because people might not know. Even Jesus Christ said so. He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not. So some people may not really know that this is, it could be injurious to their own health. Either you're ready to take it or you're not ready to take it. But I keep announcing. You see, we were moved with compassion, James, during the Delta variant that was sweeping everywhere. Actually, I was moved with that compassion because I knew very well at that time that the vaccine that came under AstraZeneca could not have gone around everybody. And if I tell you how much money we had to spend, so that when you see some of these people talking, that money, trust me, was much more than what was budgeted for COVID. And I'm sure you entered the Tungbang, you saw the number of people we had at the Tungbang Center. That's after the specialist hospital was completely full. Completely full. All our ventilators were on duty at that time. And thank God for the medical oxygen plant that we installed, that we could administer oxygen to 2,000 patients at one go. And I'm not a medical expert, but I think God has given me wisdom to take, be a little bit more proactive when it comes to things of medicine and medical services. And that helped a whole lot. There was a time about 168 people at the same time, same minute, were on oxygen at the Tungbang Disease Control Center. So you could see that as a state government, it was extremely difficult, even though I made an announcement, if you don't come for the vaccine, if you get infected, government will not, it's not that easy. As a father, you cannot. Once they tell you somebody is positive, you are moved with compassion to save life. Even though, please, I still want to use this platform to appeal to people. The Moderna vaccine, I don't think the side effect, if at all, I've never heard anybody complain more than probably fever. which is normal. Even when we were much younger, I remember in those days when we were in primary school, when you go to school, they give you measles, smallpox, and all those things here. When you come back home that day, your mother needs to pamper you because you must have been down with fever. And for those that knew, before you leave, they will give you APC and codeine. That was the analgesic that we had at that time. APC and codeine. That's what you would take. Immediately you come back. So that could make you sleep well. So I don't think there is any, forget the smear that you are reading all over the place. All kinds of video, clips in the social media, campaigning against people taking the vaccine. Some will tell you it will alter your DNA. Who did that research? Who told you that? Even recently, America even had to go back and recertify on what's this one that is done by Pfizer? Okay, I might forget the name now, but the vaccine that is done by Pfizer, that is good, the Pfizer soon. So I don't think is that bad. Somebody also asked me a question, James. I don't also want to play an ostrich because I'm speaking. I must speak sincerely. Somebody asked me a question. He said, Your Excellency, you are so passionate about us going to take this vaccine. How come this vaccine does not prevent coronavirus? I said, well, coronavirus is a novel in medicine. And nobody can exactly tell you that he knows everything about it. Even the medical experts are still researching into it. But I told the person, I said, you don't lose anything by taking it. And the research had also shown that even if you've taken the vaccine and then you test positive, there's 99.99% chance that you will survive it. Or let me say 99%. Let's leave 1% to God. There's 99% chance that you survive it. And I'm not a pharmaceutical chemist to actually understand the chemical and whatsoever medical content, mineral content of whatsoever they're using to do the vaccine. But my own is to make sure. After all, everything in life works with faith. Some of them, if they know what they put in paracetamol, they won't take. But all of us were born to understand that if you take paracetamol, it will cure you headache. And we take by faith. You see, some people, even after taking 35 minutes, they say, no, I'm not feeling the headache again. Everything in life works by faith. That's why even the Bible says, without faith, no man can please God. Because even the paracetamol, do you know what is inside paracetamol? You know the kind of starch they use in making paracetamol? Even the analgesic, who knows? All these ones are just what we are being taught. So please, final appeal, let people go out and take the vaccine. I'm not threatening. If you are exposed to this vaccine and you don't take it, if this thing comes on you again, I don't think the House of Assembly had given me so much money on this vaccine, on COVID-19 any further. One shot of new hemoglobin that I give to any patient cost me 1.8 million naira. So, James, multiply that by the number of patients that we have to administer that to. Just one shot of that neurohemoglobin. It cost me 1.8 million naira. It's an open market, something you can go and check. Then imagine the number of people that we need to administer that to. And that does not guarantee you that the person will go through it successfully. And we don't even need that. It's not even the money that is the issue. It's the life. Let's save life. Forget it. I don't mind spending billions. As far as I know, I can save life. But let me not spend the money and then you still lose your life. It will pay me more. It's a double whammy. So prevention is better than cure. Simple, elementary, something they used to tell us. So please, I'm spending this much time because, but I pray. Because even what could happen, whatsoever happens, it shouldn't come more than 3 times. We had the first wave, we had the second wave, now we had the third wave that was named after Delta. It wasn't named after Akwa Ibom. So my brother, Governor Kowa, this one was named after you. So it wasn't named after Akwa Ibom. So I think it should end there. Yeah, that's our prayer. 1, 2, 3 is enough. So it should end there. So that people can live their normal lives.
Yes, Excellency, sorry, sir, because this COVID is a very serious one.
Yes.
His Excellency is very passionate about it. Without sounding patronizing, Your Excellency, you know that
James, can you tell the world your testimony? So it's not a stigma. There's nothing wrong.
Well,
He's saying,
if I must say it, I'm a witness to what you've done. I was down, I have to say it. I'm a survivor. And except for the fact that I have to say this publicly, except for the fact that you gave us the Tumbam isolation center, I doubt if I would have been sitting down here and I saw so many people there. And thanks to That's why sometimes we are very passionate about this matter. Your Excellency, I don't know that at the level of the Incident Management Committee, headed by the SSG and of course the Commissioner for Health and others, they are doing a lot to collect our approach, because the world has come to agree, Nigeria has come to agree that you've done a very good job, Akwa Ibom has done a very good job in COVID management. The Director General of the Disease Control was here, he made the same comment. Besides what the Incident Management Committee is doing in collating our approach for future references and for global appreciation, I'd like you to share your personal approach, how you've been able to manage this in so that others can also learn from that example.
James, you see, let me also say something in life. The same thing when you hear people just talking about succession plan. I just say no, this thing is in the hands of the Almighty. You see, in life, your vision is limited to your exposure. As simple as that. Your vision is limited to your exposure. So it's not just enough to carry, do big man. What is the level of your exposure that can help you envision things that can save lives and save your people? It's as simple as that, James. So because you hear me talking passionately about medical oxygen, I even made the first move to even go and acquire it all the way from Switzerland. It is because I've seen it somewhere. It is because I've read it somewhere.
And that was the first in this country?
No, not the first in this country. I wouldn't say the first in this country. But we're not up to 3, let me put it that way, that have that same capacity. You know, people have all those tiny cylinders. You know, you can fill 100 cylinders at one go and distribute amongst all these places. So I think exposure matters a whole lot. That's number 1. Then number 2, people don't know certain things that, why have you ever bothered, James, to ask yourself, how come amongst all the human attributes that is needed to survive, the one the Bible emphasized most about Jesus Christ is that he had to come and learn humility? How come he didn't come to learn how to be popular? How come he didn't come to learn how to pay 200 boys to do election for him, or so that the day he will go to the cross, they can cheer him? But amongst all, the only one the Bible selected and laid emphasis on, because Jesus Christ was coming to lead. He needed to be a man. He needed to be a successful man. James, let me also tell you something. For you to be a successful leader that can lead the people, God must put in you that spirit of humility. Do you know what humility will do for you? Humility will make you feel that you don't know all. Humility will make you feel that you will always seek opinion and seek counsel. Humility will make you feel that you need, if you have Amplified Bible, there's something that, there's a description Amplified Bible calls a comforter. In that case, do you know how he narrated it? He said an advocate, a counselor, intercessor, helper, strengthener, standby, all in one. So these are things that a lot of people don't know. Because you see, once people see that spirit in you, see that approach in you, do you know you're open to help? It also tells you that whatsoever is written in the book of Proverbs about what you gain by being humble means a whole lot. And I keep also saying so. It's the same thing about peace. Anywhere you see peace reigning, anywhere you see peace in anywhere on planet Earth, please be rest assured that one party has decided to play a fool. That's the only way you can find peace. If one party is not ready to play a fool, you cannot find peace anywhere by man. So these are some of the things that people don't know is an ingredient that it seems as if you're so much ahead. And you see, once that happens, God is also ready to give you that spirit of wisdom. There are times you sit down as a leader, you have a lot of things to do. Will just be dropping in your mind. Do A, B, C, D. And you would know those things you're doing. It's actually God that is dropping those things in your mind. As he's dropping those things, you take them and run away with it. And within a short period of time, you now say, okay, I must know that the Spirit of God in me was talking. And this is why I had to do this. So you can imagine when we came into office in 2016, was when we started this move about medical turnaround. And you can imagine what it has paid off today. As of today, we've brought in 55 containers of medical equipment. And it's been amazing. And we're still bringing more. Right now, I have 50 more I've just ordered for the teaching hospital that is coming up very soon. And also to equip Ikore Egbena and Ikorobasi. So we'll stop at nothing to seek the support of the people, and also to humble ourselves, to ask those who know better than us, how can you help us? So I think it's gone a long way based on our exposure based on the help of God, based on the approach. Because everything in life, approach matters a whole lot. And that approach can also come out of your humble opinion in matters of this nature.
Thank you, Your Excellency. With that, Sam, I think you can close the chapter on
COVID.
and hope that it will not come back.
No.
Can we go to the next question?
Okay, let's go to the next question, Your Excellency. I was just, thinking about that law you signed recently, the open grazing, anti-open grazing law.
Yes.
Many people have commended you for that, but there's also a lot of resistance
From who?
from other quarters across the country on that. She understands.
Yes.
How do you intend to follow this law through?
Thank you, Sam. But let me tell you, you cannot be more, what do they say, more Catholic than the Pope.
Yeah.
You can never be more Catholic than the Pope. I don't think anybody can be more Akwa Ibomite than the Akwa Ibomites themselves. Mm-hmm. So I don't forget about what others say and mind what is good for your people. Sam, the only set of people that can frustrate that law is the Akwa Ibom people. The only people that can make that law work is Akwa Ibom people. So I'm using this platform to call on our people. Let me give you an example why it got me really, really at a very soft spot of mine. And I had to, outside the fact that, it was an order from all the southern governors. During the experience sharing, Sam, I reported school, number one, in Ikono. Pupils, primary school, during school hours, invaded by cattle everywhere. So, no matter what you do, as a father, your child is in the school, invaded by cattle, confusion everywhere. Tell me, in a primary school, next day, let the guardian tell that little pupil in primary 1 to go back to school next day. We tell you, Mommy, I'm not going. Yesterday, cattle invaded the place, and we had to run and hide somewhere. We're hiding somewhere. That is frightening to a young child. It's frightening to a young. It will tell you, Mommy, I'm not going to school. What will you do? And if you force that little child to go, he will cry from school, from house to the school. And as the child is entering the school, fret everywhere, as if as they are sitting, the cattle will come back. This is the experience that we're having here. That's number one. Number two, in Pareni, a very innocent woman in the farm. She was just concentrating on her farm work. Lo and behold, the herdsmen invaded the farm with the cattle. And you see, I'm made to understand that there is a way they can train, there's a way they have trained those cattle that they can pass through a farmland without destroying those things. But for it to have destroyed something, it means it was deliberate. It was deliberate. They did not only destroy this woman's farmland, but I think one or two young men that told them, don't do what you're doing is wrong. They kill one of them. So, if you are, how many people, Sam, let me ask you, how many farmers that you know in Akwa Ibom go to farm with AK-47?
None.
How many cassava planters go to their cassava plantation with AK-47? How many water leaf planters go, or farmers, let me call them farmers. Farmers go to their own farm to, to cultivate the water leaf, the corn, and everything. How many of them go to farm with AK-47? What is so much that this is something you are trained to do, this is something you know how to do best. The other woman enters bush, she doesn't carry AK-47. You are inside the same bush to rear your own cattle, to feed your cattle. And then you are carrying AK-47. And you are the one always on attack. Come on. That goes beyond the normal farming that we know of. And the man, we have a lot, we are very rich with good, aquatic blessings. So the man who is on top of his canoe, who is fishing, that man does not disturb the woman in the farm. How come you carrying cattle, you are going to kill somebody? So, when you look at everything put together, it is better that we put things in perspective and we try to be a little bit civil, like other places. And Sam, you've traveled more than me. Which day have you gone to, let me not even go out of Africa. You know, once you go out of Africa, they will think, you know, he's always like giving examples out of Africa. Which day have you been to Morocco? And then you find one single animal, either a sheep, a ram, a goat, or a cow, stray on the streets of Morocco anywhere. Morocco is an African country, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mention whether you've ever been to Morocco one day and then you see any cattle straying on the street or into the school compound or anywhere you can think of. How come we just take it to be a norm in Nigeria? Akwa Ibom people are saying no to it. And I expect Akwa Ibomites, I even expect volunteers to come up and be members of the task force to make sure. The other day I was called upon at Tropicana. You know, we've just inaugurated a market square there. Yeah. You know, trying to revive that place because, you know, a building is different from the intention of what the building can do. That place was a building. But I now try to turn it into a supermarket, into a superstore. Then we brought that market square. They are there. But I learned the other side of the whole Tropicana was totally invaded. And nobody, in fact, if you were to count the number of cattle on that day, they brought me the video. Why do that inside town? You are going to the airport before you are rushing to catch a flight, and you have to park for 30 minutes for cattle to walk sluggishly along the airport road until they get to where they can turn in Nigeria, as if, come on, I think we know better than that. Whoever is condemning that, probably we need to find out on what basis is condemning it. You know me, I don't like using harsh words on people, but I think we can be more civil about this. We can also learn to protect lives of human beings more than protecting the lives of an animal. Thank you.
Your Excellency, in addition to still staying on the anti-open grazing law, the argument is around if government puts modalities in place before signing the bill into law, and if government will make provisions in creating ranches for these herders. Like, for instance, the herders are still roaming the streets. I get calls on my program, callers complaining in Akwa Ibom that this law has been signed. Why are these people still out there? How would you address the situation?
Well, the law had been signed. We're in the process of, you know, setting up a task force. You know, in Nigeria, at times people don't carry cane behind people. They cannot abide by the law. I'm sure you see that. The same people you see in Nigeria, if there's a queue here, they cannot join a queue. Find out those same people in anywhere outside here. They are the first to go and join a queue, and they will behave so well. It is in our DNA that we must behave that way. So people like to be whipped to be in the line, and we'll do that very soon. You know, we've signed that. You say whether we'll put things in place. No matter what you put in place, those who want to flout it will still flout it. I mean, no matter what. You see, the Minister of Agric, Minister of Justice, had tried to let these people come up. If you are a cattle rearer, come up and register. Let's know you first. Ask them how many of them had come up. Ask them first how many of them had come up. Because you see, we need to know the number first. And I've also mentioned this. Even if it's the governor that you give me something during the death of my father, and I give it to anybody to keep for me, if that person flouts that law, please no excuse. The person must pay for that law. So the enforcement is going to come aggressively. You see, when you sign things like that to law, you give people time to adjust themselves. Some of them had put up a hut somewhere. They will need to transfer that hut from that place to the area we're going to give them. You understand? So you need to allow them time for that. We are all human. Some of them did not know you were going to come up with that overnight, even though we were complaining about it, even though the Southern Governors Forum had announced that effective September 1, this was going to come up. But you know, Nigerians, we like 11th hour rush. So still give them that little time for them to adjust. It could be those ones they were seeing on the road. They were migrating from town to certain areas that nobody is living, forest and so on. Thank God, we have so much forest. There are areas that you cannot find farmland, you cannot find any human being. So even with that, the AK-47, they have enough python to shoot there. We restrict them to those areas, and government are taking pains to know those areas that those things can actually be. But give them a little time, let them adjust their settlement and move to the areas that we want them to move to. Very soon, the task force will swing into action and will spare nobody.
Excellency, a lot of people are trying to join us online. I'd like to apologize. By the next 10 minutes, we'll be opening the phone lines for you to join. But let me remind you of the number, particularly in the interest of our radio listeners, 0907 240 5876 and 0805 506 9111. Before we take the course, Your Excellency, let's go to some of the topical issues.
Okay.
You know that recently about 1,000 teachers were
recruited.
Approved for their recruitment. Quite commendable. But Your Excellency, some controversies have come up. They make calls to your radio program. Some local government have alleged that they've not been properly represented. Some are saying they have only 4. Some are saying they have this number. In view of this controversy, have we come to the end of that exercise?
James, no matter what you do on planet Earth, people will complain. People will complain. Let me start from the known to the unknown, which is the recruitment of teachers. Today, when I came into office, a lot of local government areas were accusing government of not appointing permanent secretaries from their own local government. I said, okay, no problem. You will never be a permanent secretary if I don't get to interview you. We set up the template. Do you know there are times you look at deputy directors and directors in all the civil service, you will not find a single one from a particular local government. So in that case, do they expect the governor to go to the villages and just bring people overnight and make them directors and interview them and make them a permanent secretary? The answer is no, I wouldn't do that. That's number one. Then number two, let people also listen when we make announcement. When we were going into this teachers recruitment, we made an announcement that the people who recruit as teachers shall be people I will agree to teach my children. And as such, shall be based on merit, not on geographical distribution, not on gender distribution. It shall be based on merit. This was clearly announced. And to show how friendly we wanted the exercise to be, do you believe the questions at the first test that we did were actually primary 6 questions? They were common entrance questions that we set. You'll be shocked. So many people still failed that. That's number one. Then number two, things of this nature, there's no pass mark. There's no mark that you can score for somebody to say you fail, depending on the number that we want. If we wanted 1,000, and the first 1,000 are people that score between 100% and then 98%. If you score 97%, it means you have failed. It's as simple as ABC. So let people not call me and say, Your Excellency, after all, I scored 80. How could I have failed? We had to draw it. Even with that, I even allowed, because of few courses, few subjects in secondary schools that we were lacking teachers. So we still had to accommodate, I think, extra 89 or 90 to take care of some of those courses. You know, there are some courses that we may not have plenty of teachers, like EFIC, like physics. Some of them I gave concession to take more teachers. Why do I give that concession for an extra 80-something or 90-something? It is because, I don't control the number of youth corps members that they send to us. But on the average, we have like 11,000 youth corps members on their annual basis. So when we checked these people, the number that we normally rely upon to fill the gap in teaching some of those courses, we didn't have it. So we needed to actually accommodate a little extra. But please, these same people that are complaining, James, that is one exercise. First time in history, unfortunately I did come here with my phone. First time in history that the number of appreciation is much more than the number of complaints was that last exercise. A lot of people are coming to tell me that, look, this is one exercise that was based on merit. Somebody told me 3 people from their own place applied and they could easily decode that, look, this was based on, because these people are exceptionally good. And they were taken. So, you see, it's like something when you go to school. You remember those days when we were in the university? When they release the final result before you go for NYC, If someone has third class, what will he tell you? He said they gave me third class. He said they gave me third class. But if he has first class, some will tell you, I made first class. I made first class. I got first class. Those who got third class, do you know what they say? They gave me third class. So he doesn't end there. He will continue. So this same set of people, some will tell you, Your Excellency, I scored 70. Who told you 70? I'm not saying you failed or you passed. If that 70 did not meet our cutoff of the 1,000 people that we were looking for, sorry. So let people not expect that things that are based on merit will be best. So those, assuming those local government areas that are complaining that their people did not pass, what will I do, James? I should go back to, the Bible says you cannot pour a new wine into an old wine skin. And these are all people that go to church more than me. They share communion more than me. But they say you cannot pour a new wine into an old wine skin. So I should go back to the same thing. Your local government people did not apply. The few that applied did not get the cutoff point. Those that got the cutoff point and came for an interview, they didn't do well. You see, I don't want to say a lot of things that I experience when I sit on an interview. Recently, I just needed those who are very good in legal drafting. James, I'm not a lawyer, but if I'm interviewing somebody to come and do legal drafting for the government, that I know the implication. That person, if he doesn't do it well, I know the implication on 7.2 million people. And I had to sit as a governor to interview those group of people because I know the implication. I can't tell you my experience. If I say so on radio, it will seem as if I'm just saying, but I can't come to the radio to say so. But you'll be shocked. I had to call the Attorney General to come and sit with me and the head of service so that whatsoever score I come out with, when they finish, find out off the camera, go and sit with them, find out what were your experiences in this matter with the governor. I mean, they will tell you everything. Somebody will just appear. What did you get? You can't do legal drafting if you cannot know ABCD. I'm not a lawyer, but I have a common sense to know who I'm looking for. And somebody coming to interview, they just come with a stereotype kind of mind. Do you know what the panel is looking for that will help in teaching? You know, there are a lot of things. It's like, let me leave teaching. It's like if I'm interviewing a nurse. Sorry. It's like if you are invited to a national team, nobody will teach you how to trap football. Nobody will teach you how to chess ball. Nobody will teach you how to pass ball because it is assumed you are a professional. You already know those ones. There, people can see how you can do what we call teaming for excellence. That's how we call it. That's what they will test you for, teaming for excellence. Nothing will be tested outside that. If you are a nurse and then I'm interviewing you, sorry, sir, I believe before you collected the certificate of a nurse, you know how to give injection. You know how to administer drugs. No, I won't test you for that. I will test you for bedside manners. That's all my interview. I'm giving them expo now, so they should know. I will test you for bedside manners because some patients die because of poor management of post-surgery. You see, post-treatment management matters a whole lot, and those things are not done by the doctors. They are done by nurses. So if I'm interviewing nurses, I will know what to ask you for. Don't expect that I'll come and ask you, how do you give injection? What's the medical name of this? I wasn't trained for that. I wasn't trained for that. You were trained to be that. But what I was trained for is to make sure I save life of my people of Akwa Ibom anytime, any day. So I will first of all know that you have the passion to save life, and your bedside manners can allow my patients live post-surgery, post-medical treatment. So people don't know this, James. People just go and say what they don't know. Let somebody come out and say, look, in my local government, this is the list of people that wrote the exams. Then we take them through the process. The first test, the second one, then the interview. Then the interview scores are there. Then look at how this person scored in the interview. And we make sure the interview wasn't just one person. And James, let me also tell you, final comment on this one. I set up a committee on this, an EXCO committee, to monitor what was going on. So this is one case where the auditor at the point also became an auditee. So I don't know what else people want. There's nothing we will do that people won't complain. It did not start today. Even when Moses led the children of Israel, they were complaining. They crossed the Red Sea. They didn't thank Moses for helping them cross the Red Sea. They say, how do you bring us that we are dying of thirst? Moses made the water sweet for them. They were still complaining. They say, what kind of Moses are you? We are tired of eating manna. Can you give us meat? So there will still be complaint, James. But I want to assure Akwa Ibomites, I'm not saying anything done by human being can never be 100% right. Bear that in your mind. There's always an allowance for an error rate for anything done by human being. But once that error rate is not prohibitively high, you now know that the people have achieved excellence. And I think I'm satisfied with the process. Thank you.
Excellency. We should be taking a break now and get prepared for phone calls, but for gender balance and gender issues. Madam is so eager to ask.
Okay, let her fire one before we go on break.
Okay.
Your Excellency, I came into Akwa Ibom in 2018.
Yes.
And one of the first things I noticed was the state is very clean.
Thank you.
The good roads and the green vegetation. And well, we're wrapping up. We're seeing that your administration is coming to an end in the next 2 years. Talking about the completion agenda, there have been concerns about your administration not being able to complete many ongoing road construction projects in the state. In my political program, you hear people calling and they talk about road. And the particular one has to do with the
Which one?
Nduetonku Road leading to Ibiakuran Road, Your Excellency.
Leading to where? James, can you pronounce the name well for her?
That's the road to Planet FM.
So, that's why she's complaining, because of, because of Planet FM. Because of Planet FM. Nami, let me answer you clearly.
Your Excellency, please, maybe you can put this also in general perspective. Is it possible that before the completion agenda ends in 2 years, that this
Planet
the Bongos road project,
okay, Nami,
Sir.
let me give you one assurance. Recently, we just performed a miracle. I call it a miracle. If you talk to House of Assembly members, they will tell you it's a miracle. If you talk to those that know and those that wish us well, it's a miracle. Normally, in 1 month, without relying on statutory allocation, without going for ISPO from House of Assembly, we disbursed well over 140 billion to contractors. Why? Where we got it from is a miracle. It shows that this is one government that can strike the rock and water will come out of it. That's number one. Then number two, why did we do that? Because we wanted to take advantage of August break. And we are not God. While we were preempting to take advantage of August break, we just noticed that there was no August break this year. It's been raining every day. Tell me how you want a good work, a contractor will go and be excavating under the rain. It's not possible, except you want to do a political road. And you know we don't do political roads here. We do our roads, we do it very solid. So one thing you need to know here is not that the government is not creative. Why did I mention such humongous amount of money? To let you know that we are very creative, that we can also create money, and then we can also think ahead, and also that while others are saying there's a casting down, we'll always tell Akwa Ibomite there is a lifting up. While so many states cannot pay salaries running into double digit of months. The other time I heard, about the news, why a governor was saying that, why are you castigating me? After all, I'm owing you for only 17 months. There are other states that are owing you for 23 months. So, at the time, and normally let me also tell you something. You see something about statutory revenue is not hidden. Go and check, even this month of September. Yesterday, your oil price was at $77 a barrel. If you check on preceding 2-month basis, the oil price was on the average of more than $73, $74, $75. But I tell you, at the exchange rate of 557 naira to a dollar, that if you want to convert the money that they gave me this September statutory allocation, is nothing compared to when even exchange rate used to be at 150 to a dollar. The naira value, not even talk about the exchange rate value. Then bring it back at the current inflation, current exchange rate. How much do they sell cement now? How much do they sell bitumen? On top of that, we are still paying our contractors. The same person that called you on a radio program, that same person was the person that told you that we will never complete Uyi Korek-Bene Road. Today, they've left that. That same person was the person that told you that the flyover we were doing was the longest in the whole region. How can I do the longest flyover in the whole region that will never complete it? We commissioned it, they kept quiet. That same person told you that the other tower was, how can a state government dream about this? Oh, why should they do it? The same Dakada Tower was commissioned yesterday by the vice president. The same people that say we will never complete it. Why? What they see is different from what I see. What they know is different from what God wants me to know. So don't worry about those people. If you are talking about the Planet FM road, the Planet FM road, I've actually paid money for that road, but unfortunately it rains every day. And if you check, even to do concrete work on the side drains there, that road does not have alternative route. If there is an alternative, because of the gully on the other side, there's no alternative route. So you can see that that's one road that we are boxed to a corner. It's the only road like we only do during dry season. And it's a little bit technical. And you see, I had to give it to a very strong foreign company. I think it's Salvabugu that is doing your road. Yes. So I think it's either Italian or Israeli company. So you could see that. And I don't even know the contractors. You'll be shocked. I'm one governor that I sit on FGPC meeting. Normally, to God, I've never one day collected a Christmas card from a contractor. Christmas card. I don't collect Christmas card from a contractor. So that you know that our level of sincerity is second to none. So you see, one thing with Akwa Ibom people, it baffles me. Other people are applauding. How did you get to do it? How did you achieve it? How did you get this? What level of ingenuity? How did you create money? But you know, in Akwa Ibom people, the day you go to create money, they go on social media, the governor has gone to take loan, because that's the only grammar they understand. You know, it's like those old women in the village who will tell you that they pick the grammar from the ground to speak. so the only grammar they must have picked from the ground to speak is a loan. So whatsoever name, even when you're creating money, the only language they understand is, governor has gone to take loan. You see people coming to sit on radio with you. Governor, they don't even know the difference. So you leave them. You see, even the Bible says so. For people like that, the Bible says you give them to the reprobate of their minds. I'm quoting the Bible. I'm not saying out of my own self. So I think we need to be appreciated, Naomi. And also the passion in doing so many roads shows that if we have the resources and everything, we want to turn Akwa Ibom overnight into a developed city. So that's why, you see, it's like having a glass of water. The positive-minded person will tell you it's half full. The negative-minded person that calls you on your radio program will tell you it's half empty. These same people, this same way, people can also look at it and say, hey, Naomi, we like this governor. It means if he has all the resources, overnight is his wish to turn our place. I don't want to mention any other place because the people who turn that place, they don't have two heads. So you see, I'm trying to be very cautious. I would have mentioned Miami, mentioned any other city, but I don't want to mention. Why? Because I don't want those people to believe they have two heads. What we have is all that we need. The only thing that we don't have, which those people have, is the cooperation of our people. Those people that call you on the radio, that come to sit, castigate government, say all kinds of insults about the governor. Tell me, what has this governor done to you? None of them can tell you. So it's the same thing. Normally, let me give you a final example of those same-minded people that call you. We are on a very tight agreement, even on Udom Air. You see, when one of the A220-300 series had an issue, by the agreement that we signed, you know I'm a businessman. So when I'm signing a transaction, you know that transaction will be watertight. So what did we sign? That if any of those aircraft has any single issue, no matter how minor that issue is, we will ground it because of the lives of the people. And they will fly in a brand new aircraft for us to use within 24 hours. Normally, the day we had that issue in Abuja, we packed one of those aircraft. And by 3 a.m. that night, into the early hours of the morning, Egypt Air brought to us the newest of the A220-300 series. Let me give you the difference between the two minds of the people that we have. Do you know what Akwa Ibom people told me? Your Excellency, you said it's Udom Air. How come it's Egypt Air that is now coming to fly us? We thought it's Udom Air. We didn't know it's owned by Egypt, and so on. I did not answer. But let me also tell you something. Who is who in Nigeria Federal Civil Service? They flew the same aircraft into Uyo. And do you know when they landed? They called me. They said, Your Excellency, God will bless you. That they never thought in this lifetime that a subnational government, like a state, can have a transaction where another country will use their national carrier to come and fly a domestic flight between Abuja and Uyo for a state government. Same situation, two different mindsets. One half empty, another one half full. So the same people who are calling you that, oh, governor, as we finish this one, they move to another one. We'll finish Ikoro now. We finish Ikoro Benin Road, they move. Yesterday I heard they were talking about Okobo to Airport Road. That's the same road that was so horrible. Even when I don't have money, I'm dualizing the road. Shouldn't I even be encouraged that how much money do I have? Normally, I finalize by saying this. I stand in my honor. If after, let Akwa Ibom might go and look for any auditor anywhere they know. If after they've taken the basic first line charges, which is out of my control, and then they look at the projects I've put for them on ground, and then they compare to the money I have, and it's not much more than that, then any day, any time I say something, don't believe me again. But I want to assure you, what we've put on ground for the state is much more than the money we've collected. And I stand to be audited anytime, any day. They can bring the forensic experts anywhere in the world, and I stand to be corrected. Yesterday, I delivered a 21-story, the smartest building in this country. Let people go and check. How much did we do that building? How much did the House of Assembly give me? How much is in that building? How did we come to complete that building with all those things? Nobody knows. I have made a lot of sacrifice of everything God has given me. The connection, the people, what I should have used for my children, I use it for the state. But if people, all they want to know and all they want to say is this governor cannot complete roads, well, it's so minor, it's so minutest out of them all, but let them also know. The governor will not, I can't go and unearth my mother to come and complete the road for them. I can only make use of what God has given me to do it. But be rest assured, we are serving with all amount of sincerity of purpose. We are serving with all amount of dedication, and we have the capacity beyond what they think and they see to deliver at any level. While we go on break, sir.
Thank you, Your Excellency. You got this point in time. Our radio listeners, viewers all over the world, you are still on to the program, The Governor Speaks Tonight series, the program that gives our Caribbean citizens and other global citizens an opportunity to know the mindset of governance in Akwa Ibom State. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more questions, and then Baron Nabasi will open the phone lines. Of course, he will also take us through the spacecraft of social media. We'll be back in a jiffy. Don't go away. James edits, and we're still on the program, The Governor Speaks, and the program is being joined by all the radio stations in Akwa Ibom. So I'll take time to mention all the stations at the end of the program, and like we said, you can reach us on all the government social media handles here on Facebook and all the other handles. And for our radio listeners and others, the phone number is 090-7240-5876. And of course, 8085 5069-111. So the phone lines are open now, and for our television viewers and those on the social media on Facebook, YouTube, follow the number scrolling down your screen, and you can reach His Excellency directly. Boron Nabasi is our gatekeeper. Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready for you.
Okay. Any call?
Yeah, we seem to be having. Okay. Let's see if we can take this. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon and welcome to the 9th series of The Governor Speaks. Please tell us your name and then go straight to ask a question.
Hello?
Your
Hello?
name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, my name is Thomas.
Okay, go ahead. Where are you calling from? And then go straight to asking your question.
You met Thomas.
Hello, good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon.
Go straight to the point. You met Thomas. Tell us where you're calling us from and then your question.
Okay, my name is Thomas. I'm calling from Uyo.
Okay.
First of all, I want to say congratulations to His Excellency the Governor for finding time to address the citizen of Akwa Ibom State. At this point of time, I want to say that His Excellency the Governor have learned a whole lot, and to some extent, not only his tenure, but I want to say that the past leaders that we have in Akwa Ibom State, right from Obong Victor Ota, Kozulobo Rukabio, and the present governor, His Excellency Governor Udom Emmanuel,
Including military administrators.
a whole lot in terms of infrastructure. I want to ask that they should invest much in human capacity development. Thank you very much for having me. I still remain Thomas, aka Imete.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's see if we can take.
Imetex.
Thank you for your advice. Imetex, but if you check how much we've done so far, I don't have the statistics by heart right now, but you know we're costing close to 3,000 of the youth development program as at 31st of August. So I don't know what the statistics holds for September, and we are running in all ramifications. So if you check very well, if you check with different, you know, what people don't know is we are running on different subsectors. The health, as I'm talking to you right now, the health subsector, excuse me, we got Union Medicals from the United States. They are engaging them as I'm talking to you right now. We are doing similar, Ministry of Agric is doing a whole lot. The marketing team led by Imunwa, they are doing a whole lot. You see them giving checks of 200,000. I think it's all over the social media. You know, seed money when they finish training the people. The Ministry of Trade and Investment is also doing a humongous one, being trained. And as they're leaving, you could see people smiling with checks. And I see these things. And people also send me messages thanking me for those seed money. I think we are doing a whole lot. And even also outside that, I think the Governor's Mothers Foundation is also supporting a whole lot of those people with seed money. Every quarter, I think the Governor's Mother Foundation takes care of about 155 of those people every single quarter. And I think it's ongoing. So you cannot finish all in one day. Even Jesus Christ did not finish preaching in one day. Else, Paul Apostle wouldn't have any work to do. So don't think the governor will finish everything within this tenure. We'll do our best. And then others will continue from there. But very soon, we'll get to the promised land.
Okay.
You cannot finish all in one day. Even Jesus.
Hello. There's a whole back.
Please, if you must join the program, I'd like to appeal that you try and
Turn down the
volume
volume
of your
very
radio
rest.
or television set.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Welcome to the 9th series of The Governor Speak. Please, what is your name and where are you calling us from?
Thank you very much, Boron Nabasi. My name is Adi. I'm the leader of the People's Parliament. Congratulations, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker. Your Excellency, I want to first of all, thank you for all you have been. Your response to the letters you sent from the People's Parliament that has to do with the Akwa Ibom people. The latest is the one you sent to the Office of the Commissioner for Information about the child that we almost lost. And Your Excellency, I want to plead with you that the Minister of Information sent back the letter for your approval. So please help us approve that. Your Excellency, every day we sit on the People's Parliament, people that call talk about gratuity. Your Excellency, please, I want you to really
Talk about
on this media party, tell us the major problem that has to do with the gratuity of the primary school teachers and local government employees. Because my mom also retired in 2014 and she has not been paid till today.
including my mom.
Hears me talk about gratuity, and because I'm going sentimental now because my mom is involved. Thank you, Your Excellency.
And my mother too. My mother died without collecting her own gratuity too. Please let me.
That's our colleague.
Okay.
What's his name?
Udom Emmanuel.
Let me start from that last one that you're saying. The question there is, when we came into office, how much of such areas did we inherit? How much is outstanding as of today? You see, it's not only Akwa Ibom, all over Nigeria. That's number one. Then number two, even the federal government. But let me also say something that Akwa Ibom might seem to forget so soon. They seem to forget so soon. Before I came into office in 2014, you people were on contributory pension scheme. Contributory pension scheme. People seem to forget so easily. That scheme was abandoned and abolished in 2014. If the scheme was abandoned and abolished in 2014, what could have been the way out? You understand? So there could have been both the labor, the government, and all the stakeholders could have, been together to determine what was the work out, what was the exit at that point, and why also was that abolished. How can you just abolish a contributory pension in the midway? So that means that whatsoever, if the monies were returned to the people, your contributory pensions were returned to you, which means that you did not contribute. And today, I'm still coming back after the money has been returned to you to even still pay you for the money you did not contribute. Abba, let people just be a little bit fair to us. And we've been paying this thing from 2002. As of today, we've paid up to 2016. Up to 2016 that we've paid. So let people be a little bit fair to us. From 2002. We paid up to 2016. And these same people were under contributory pension scheme. They abolished the scheme, returned the money to them. They've gone away with the money. And I'm coming back now to suffer on something that, that could have been managed through. So I think that's not how contributory pension schemes work. What I expected could have been done would have been those billions that were collected, since they were contributory pension scheme, would have gone into investment. So today we would have been talking about return on that investment. So that at the exit point of contributory pension scheme, it's not being exited by everybody at the same time. It's exited by death. Or except you want out of option to opt out. So it's not a platform for me to go through all this, but don't put me through this emotional torture. I think it's a whole lot on me now that I'm sitting down to be paying this thing over and over and over and over again. Meanwhile, the contributory pension scheme that you did in 2014 was abolished and then you went away with the money. The monies were returned. The government portion, I did not inherit even a dime, even 1 naira. I did not. I did not inherit any credit of 1 naira. I stand to be corrected. Let anybody who knows it come and tell me, yeah, you got 1 naira credit, which you are now used to pay. So whatever we are using now to pay, we are matching prior costs with current revenue. Very poor accounting. If I did that in ICANN, probably they would have failed me. But I don't have a choice because human beings are involved. So give us a little bit of credit and allow us go through gradually until we finish all and then come to terms. You know, the same thing happened with pensions. When I came in, I had the pension arrears of over 20-something billion. And today, nobody's talking about pensions again. Every single month, if I don't pay pension, I don't buy diesel. Let anybody come out and tell me that he has missed, as a civil servant, pension for 1 month. Then I will check whether that person was really a civil servant or not. So I inherit the same thing. So human beings, it's not easy to satisfy human beings. I inherited a whole of, today I've cleaned out pensions. They want to kill me on gratuity. Let me also announce, my late mother died. She didn't collect the gratuity as a teacher. I'm still following up too. So please, the day you're going for your own, let me know. I will also go for my own because I'm the next of kin to my mother that my mother put there. So let me also go and collect my mother's own because I also need the money. My mother suffered for it.
Your Excellency, someone, let me take something from the social media, from our Facebook page. I think this gives us, he's trying to give a logical explanation to what you earlier said about AstraZeneca. So, Your Excellency, thank you for his name is Joe Dolire. Says, thank you for the good work you're doing. The logic in the disparity of the number of those who took AstraZeneca is about some people who took the first jab while outside of the state. But because they don't have it in their state, maybe they sneak into Akwa Ibom to take that. That's why maybe when they're having the high power,
That disparity.
Maybe
I praise that.
Yeah,
I praise that. Let's pray those are the people.
Yeah.
That is not the other way around. People who just came for second and didn't take the first. I will be happy if there are people. I mean, you see, we are open to all other states. If you check, we are the only state in Nigeria. Quote me anywhere. We are the only state in Nigeria today that we can boast of 2 PCR testing centers. No state out of 36 states of this country, only Akwa Ibom state as a government. Others are being done for them by the federal government. And the same people who are just talking here, when will you people go and ask the people who say they are senior special assistant, senior special advisor to the president, that they are coming to do Calabar to road, state government should not touch it. Today, to go to Calabar takes us 6 hours. These same people come to the radio. Normally will entertain them and Sam. And they will tell you, federal government is coming to do Calabar to road. We've been hearing this. First term, gone. Second term, they are about leaving the office. We can't reach Calabar. And I wanted to do the road. They said the road had been awarded to Julius Berger. So I shouldn't touch it. I should go. Today, I've asked Julius Berger, have you gotten any money? They said no. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, it's the people that suffer. And look at how many interventions I've done on that road, James. 2 times, gully erosion had completely, tore the road apart. I had to go and intervene. The first time, I spent 2.6 billion. And thank God, when they were doing the budget, they put special projects under the governor's office. When the same people are writing on the social media, they will tell you, I wonder what food I eat. Oh, governor spent 2.6 billion. It was on that Calabar to road, James. That's all they are writing against me. Because it wasn't on the main budget. And the goal erosion ate the whole thing. Second time, between where you have AKBC up to in Itam,
Yes.
the whole COVID separated completely into 2. Nobody could pass. These are natural occurrences that you did not envision or you did not ever envisage when you were thinking, except you happen to be God, and which we are not. And these are things that come up. And these are things when you get it fixed. Like right now, the type of erosion, there have been too much rain this year. Go around Ikpa Road, CCC, everywhere around to you. See the level. See the level of ravaging everywhere. I said gully erosion everywhere, ravaging. As we are taking steps now to fix it, you see what will come out now on the social media. Oh, governor have overshot budget. He didn't get the thing. Will you allow people to die? And these are not correct. They are not true. Look at the level. They call me CCC. In fact, it's eating deep now, even into the girls' hostel. And I must intervene as a father of the state. Even if I have to sell my personal asset to intervene, I must intervene. So let people just try to encourage people who are willing to work, please. This is somehow. So thank you for that explanation. More questions?
Your Excellency, staying with the messages, we have this one from Patrick Antai. He says he hails from it to local government. He says, Your Excellency, while I applaud your industrial renaissance, infrastructural growth, and the financial prudence of your administration, I also want to remind you of your promise to ensure the establishment of a general hospital in each of the federal constituencies in the state. Incidentally, 2 federal constituencies is yet to enjoy that gesture. Mary Slessor Hospital in Itu and St. Teresa Hospital at Usebat are missionary facilities whose location itself constitute a dead trap because of the lack of access road. Besides, the whole stretch of the road between Odokpani in Cross River State and Uyo there is no government-owned major hospital to cater for any possible medical assistance. Your Excellency, I'm aware that in the bid to complement your strides in the health sector, to local government donated an expanse of land at Mbatai. Please, Your Excellency, we're requesting that you should provide a hospital into the second one. Your Excellency, please.
Can I take that first one? He mentioned about Calabar to Udukbani. I just answered that one in advance as if I knew. Tell him to go to his own SSA to the president and tell him to go and finish the road they awarded to Julius Beja. They didn't allow me to enter the road. That's number one. Then number two, once we make a promise, people should know we'll fulfill. I didn't even know that question would come up. You know, I said that as I'm talking to you, 50 more containers are coming for hospitals. It will not take me between now and May 2023 to actually fix one for Ituibiana. I'm aware. But you see, there are few things we do before we actually get that done. And we'll do it. We need to have, first of all, train the manpower, get few things done. Even as of today, I'm looking for biomedics. So if you have any Akwa Ibomite anywhere who is very good in biomedics, should apply. I will take you immediately. I mean, so I'm looking for biomedics. As I'm talking to you right now, I've been advertising that I'm looking for anesthetists who are Akwa Ibomite, good consultants, good ones, who will also help us teach others who are, because some of them that we had, unfortunately, because of the sliding value of Naira, they've left the country. One that was in University of Uyo Teaching Hospital, you know, that's not within the purview of my authority. That's federal government. And the guy complained that the money the federal government is paying him, when he looks at it in a month, it's not up to $1,000. So if another place is paying him over $4,000 a month, so why would he stay? The guy left. I even offered him employment in the state government. He said no, that by the time he moves from federal to state government, that he's not sure how his employers will feel, that it's better he goes away. So these are some of the problems that we are facing. It is the sliding value of Naira that is not allowing us to retain academics and then doctors and people in the medical line. So if you have any Akwa Ibom, we are willing to pay above the market price, but we are still not getting. Because when you're paying above the market price, by the time the guy looks at, you see, also Nigeria is a country where you enter an investment today at official exchange rate and then you exit at export process rate. That is not done anywhere in the world. I don't want to go into economy today because I'm talking to my people. It's not done anywhere in the world. Entry cannot be at official exchange rate and exit is at export process rate. It's not done anywhere. We are bringing investment at say 411, 412. If you are exiting the investment, you are exiting at 575. So what profit will you make to justify the risk you are taking and the returns on that investment when converted for you to go back? That is left for People's Parliament in the next edition. In the next edition.
Your Excellency, Mekane Musen from Obodokara says, congratulations, Your Excellency, and Akwa Ibom people on the 34th anniversary of the state. How far have we gone with the implementation of the Ibom deep sea port?
Well, even yesterday, if the person listened to the Vice President, you could hear it was full of, accolades. You see, something about deep sea port is not building a primary school that I can just go open the ground and start setting blocks. That's a deep sea port. What you don't see, but we know the survey alone that they do in deep sea port is almost 30% of the job to be done. When you're talking about deep sea port, the surveys, they will do ocean. I'm not a who are those people? I'm not a geologist or marine engineer or anything. So I might not be able to tell you all the surveys now, except they write it for me. That's when I read it. But man, there are a lot of surveys that those guys have to do. That's number one. Then number two, I'm not afraid to say this. They say name and shame. I want to name to all Akwa Ibomites in Nigeria and the diaspora. Deep sea port Bioron. SSG me try for song. Down but instead of that, that's why I go on blackmailing everywhere. Go and young say mama because I tried ibo ya kai so came for deep sea port. Ido mo given investors is songin. Nyin. Gigi investors kidem nyin. Indian investors. I get to me approve our federal government I think I market papers everywhere. Even a petition to do. One of the investors in the army issue. Monday the memory idea. Monday bang. We go investor. Okay, Boris or Idam. Get to investors again here. So then by the state government in you talk order. It is the state government maybe 50% or so because investor by them will come making more than 50%. Even that 50%, maybe now mainly in equipment and materials. So it is the state government maybe now for saying state government AIM nothing less than $750 to $800 million. Not talking naira, $800 million. State government getting new talk order. No government, even a federal government, maybe you can use talk order on the frame. Nigerian government, you can use talk order on the borrow. So, I mean, Bebo, Mboma BC didn't you know, even a mediocre investor, I mean, you can investors, so maybe the fact that other people, the investors. So, and I know you get on fire again. And I know you get on fire again. It is by Yagim, Biofen, Ken Metiefen, Mbangsia, the Bigam Munirando, Mbaya in opposition, okay. Ebo kigbe na adi tinga keri bom deep sea port kigbe na akeri baka kigbe na akeri ntum amba me papa do airport ada between Uran nsira tai me yokobo nti ai godo uyo airport nti ai godo no uyo nti ai godo Uran nsira tai okobo. Okay, anybody ebo ki be dock plane ito anywhere ngobo ki ka uyo. Simple. That's number one. Tell me it could know you. So, I mean, Ibom, I do a unique name, and in the cow, in Udom Akwa Ibom. Is a brand name, so that every asset and every investment of the state can come under that brand name that we can promote and then have what we call brand equity in it. I was as minor as that. The thing we can give back. So, a bank give me the PCO from Ibom. You need proof. Get the thing that just few meters away from Unyanga. Some more Unyanga at Okobo. It ain't gonna be Okobo. It's not a girl run. It's not a friend in Boreko. I'm my favorite on that side. Make go to meeting. Now, a wait petition to even every investor say my issue.
That place is Mbo, not Okobo.
I mean Mbo. I'm sorry. It ain't about Mbo. I'm sorry. I'm correct me. I got to buy young where you won't get good to Okobo. Can you go to Mbo? So in onion friend in onion friend and a Bongo office. Nkarage realize that objective. Mark Bongo office give me because it takes me a whole lot of effort to convince anybody to bring $1 into Nigeria. You can't tell it. I'm the one that go through it, I can tell you. It takes me a whole lot of sweat for somebody to agree. Right now we've been negotiating for other consumables for medicals. Everybody is using calculator to look at, oh, if I come in today, how will I know what the value of Naira will be tomorrow and so on? Extremely difficult gems. Somebody was telling you, if I come in with my investor today, this is how much I'm exchanging to invest in your country. Who knows? Could be the time I'm going out, your currency might be 1,000 Naira to $1. And you can't defend it because right within our eyes, you can see the currency sliding overnight into something that we cannot even explain. And it's unfortunate. So, our market through James remember. So, I say try. That's why the market I say try is Sweden. Edion can affect 7.2 million people. You know, we found Amado. We saw market with letter in November more. We saw okay, that do back NPA. Mongo run roba, remember you Amazon go ponchun. Yas been away from Oron to Calabar to the main NPA. So given a young run. So you meditate with petition against investors and you give any meeting investor. Do you know what it takes? I can't go with anybody. I've been $1 the country for the invest. And these are the frustrations that we are facing these days. Petition. That's how we wanted to bring petrochemical to Ibno. Quantum petrochemical. After those guys have spent well over 13 million euros. They had 31 cases in court. They cut their losses and ran away. 31 cases in court. They had to cut their losses and run away. Quantum petrochemical, they left. President Jonathan, I brought them here. I did a whole, financial plan for them. They were to be financed by Goldman Sachs. You can go and check. So let me not, if I don't tell you go on Bakara, because Ebo we see them bar from Gaysian. So if I'm not done, I got my carabet. And I'm going to come back. Stay in the bunker, they were Morati Abuja. I got my fire. I was a here, Quasa the Reson Governor. I don't stay in the bunker. A fool Papa Nibo, and so for Benedy. And it will get to a point. I'll be sure woman on the radio station. I may want my white eyeball, you for dances of Benedy. Because there are a lot of things. Ubuse, I found money in a movie. Yeah, I say, James, Tonga 2015. Everybody, I'm young, but you know, Tonga 2015. Yinikama NDDC. Aram, you give blame Kage check. MDs. Tonga 2015 of NDDC, afraid to Akwa Ibom. Ministry. Even a captain on your go. Si Akabusong Kedi say. After saying Akwa Ibom, I book NDDC and am. Yinikama NDDC, Tonga 2015. Ebom me on a makeup. I'm on a mesra. So, for see how some kids say, after what he said back from the James, who I am with them for able to me and this, you know, 2015, Yinikama and this, MD position. Okay, my baby administrator, ready, I know. Who's on kid? And for me, I've got one person in the 2 Calabai to road. It beat out 2,000 Kenyan, you might control it. It be when able for area, a fair query, and down in Canada. Hello.
Hello. Hello. You're welcome to the 9th series of the Governor Speaks. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yes, I'm calling from Udom.
You're calling from?
Yes, Udom.
Okay, sir.
Udom.
Okay, what's your name, sir?
Udom.
Please go ahead and ask your question.
I want to speak on value.
Okay.
You want to? So.
Hello?
Hey, go ahead. It's good.
So what you're radio for?
It's all good, guys. So governor's all good.
So I'm going to government to be honest.
Hello.
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 Bum.
Hello.
It's all good, guys. So.
So I'm going to
Amen.
Because you know, I imagine to Musum. You know, the bank going to go number. I don't want to more inform you. And yeah, I'm telling you as I'm now.
Okay,
Thank you.
I think we have another call.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Please bring down the volume of a radio set, please.
The Excellency has raised an important issue, which another person has raised here about this anti-open grazing law, that we should try to execute it that it should be affected seriously. That's what he was trying to say there. And
that we should...
the law should be enforced, that it's been experiencing very negative activities.
I've assured people over and over again, and I've given reasons why we are giving just this minor grace period. It's to allow for settlement and resettlement, movement and alignment. And once we discover that grace period is over, we'll swing into action. James, you see, once you promulgate something like that, you need to know that you're dealing with human beings. Some of them will need to move to the area you want them to move to. It's not automatic. So we need to put a human face to everything. Even though we are talking like this, it's not all rearers, cattle rearers that are bad people. So let's also have that at the back of our mind. But you see, in any country, in any community, the population of the bad people are not more than 0.04%. They are not that many. So, but you see, it's because they say one bad egg spoil the whole basket. So that's the problem that we're having here. Or one bad apple spoil the whole basket.
So, before the next call, let's take this question, because it's what most people have been talking about.
All right.
May 2023 is fast approaching when you are supposed to hand over to your successor. Now, names of your likely successors are being bandied around. What will...
But James, I've not seen your name there too.
Excellency, I don't... Excellency, Well, I'll consult Your Excellency if I'll do that. Your Excellency, what role do you intend to play in the emergence of your successor?
Well, let me.
Last time you said God.
No, but let me say thank you again. You see, this issue of successor will not go away. It will not be over until it's over. So I'm not tired of answering that question, but I don't have a different answer. There's only one answer I have. I keep saying so. When it comes to power, it does not belong to Udom Emmanuel. Don't ask me to give what I don't have. The owner of the power knows who is going to give the power to, James. But he will use men to actualize that. I can only offer myself as a willing vessel. But James, let me also say something on a very serious note. And I'm saying this in my honor. In my honor, and then the Bible that I read every day, and the God who has brought me this far. James, the choice of who will become the next governor is not mine, but God's. And I wouldn't say anything more than that. You know, I've never spoken this seriously before. Yeah. So for me to say in my honor, and also in the honor of the Bible I read every day, that the choice of who becomes the next governor is not Udom Emmanuel's, but God's. And if I say so, God knows what to do. He knows how to do it. The James, you see, I'm used to James. Yes. Isaiah 28:29 will tell you that he's wonderful in counsel, excellent in walking. So he knows how to counsel, he knows how to work it out. So let me not arrogate to myself who I'm not and what I'm not. Please. You see, it's always a mistake. Unfortunately, politics is one place that you never hear, thus says the Lord. No matter how God comes down every day to reveal to people that this thing doesn't belong to people, it belongs to me. In this country, somebody had won an election. Somebody had won an election in the morning. He didn't wait for the election result to be declared. In this country, somebody has rehearsed to be sworn in the next day in less than 24 hours. God said, no, you are not my choice. You might have won the election. God is not a Democrat. I hope you know that. So God is not a Democrat. So let us not. But another thing Akwa Ibom should also know is that the Bible says, who can a good father, you ask for fish and he will give you snake. You ask for bread and he can give you stone. So if I go on my knees and ask God to give Akwa Ibom the person that will maintain the peace, James knows that there will never be development without peace. And whoever cometh by the sword shall rule by the sword. Whoever cometh by violence shall rule you people by violence. Whoever cometh by any other means shall rule you people by that means. Let people not forget that. Whoever cometh by koboko shall rule you people by koboko. But my prayer is that blessed is he that cometh of the Lord, so that he can rule our people in peace, so that there can be unity, love, and development of Akwa Ibom. That's my prayer. Thank you.
That's sorry to still dwell on this 2023. It's not during time.
No, go ahead, I'm here.
You know, we may not know your success, so God will reveal. But we see a governor whose term will end in 2023. Mm-hmm. Beyond 2023, post your governorship era, where would you want to Akwa Ibom to see you? Have you
where
would you want to
where
politically?
In my house? Huh? Where else do they want to see me? James.
God also told you of
James, that's too personal.
Okay, yes,
because I need to consult my children,
yes,
consult my wife, consult my family members. And above all, I like your phrase. You say, where will you want God to take you to? So that Akwa Ibom people can see you in that place. Where God will take me to. You know the songwriter.
Are you praying for anything?
No, hold on, James. Wait now. When we were in primary school, if you remember, if you attended a good primary school like my own, there's a song they used to teach us. They say, wherever he leads me, I will go. Jesus will lead me day by day. Yeah. So why not follow that song now? Okay. Allow him to lead day by day. And even the other song said, morning by morning, new mercies I see. So take one morning at a time, James. But do you know how many mornings between now and May 29, 2023? There are plenty of mornings. So let's take the morning one after the other and take day after day. Don't rush. Okay, so that my children won't say, Daddy, what are you saying?
Let's take a few. Hello. Glad to have you join us on the 9th series of The Governor Speaks. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you.
Turn down the volume of your radio so that you can hear us.
We seem to be having network issues.
Your Excellency is still talking about the cow.
Hello. I think we have another. Hello.
Pick another caller.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, good evening.
We seem to be having network challenges. Let's
There's a call.
okay.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Good evening, welcome to the Governor Speaks.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, please briefly tell us your name and your question.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and go straight to your question, please.
Yeah, my name is Stephen John. I am calling from Uyo, in Southland. It's my pleasure to be on with you, Executive Governor of Garden State. I want to thank you specifically for all the good things he has done for this state. And I want to tell him that we will be conducting something concerning where God will want to take him. We should remember the present economic situation of the nation. Now, the 70s, I will be so happy to see him render his statement at the Central Bank of Nigeria because we have the whole he's elected to this state, and I'm very proud of him. Now, I watch from that. Your Excellency,
Sir?
I want to thank you for the team you have around you, your team of commissioners, most especially Professor James Ibawa. I want to commend you for that appointment because it has really helped us achieve one or two projects over the state. And I think that going further from here, whoever will take over from you by the grace of God will always find sound and credible Akwa Ibom people to work with.
Okay, thank you.
On the last note, please, I want to intimate you that it's not really easy finishing school without job. I know I am just one person. I am a pioneer graduate of agricultural engineering from Akwa Ibom.
Can you make?
I want you to know that there are 1,001 of us on the street. Yeah. And I want to commend you for the effort you're doing. Actually, you can't employ all of us.
Okay, agricultural engineering. I'm passionate about what you read, and if you can find your way to the Commissioner for Agriculture, we'll talk to you about the coconut plantation that we are doing, and I'm sure you'll be better off. You'll be better off. Okay. Thank you for your kind words.
Sunny, we have 4 minutes to go. We don't want to take that.
Yeah, son.
Okay. Your Excellency, you've talked so long in the past couple of minutes. But then I want to draw your attention to this issue of VAT. I know you've not said anything officially.
I have.
You have officially.
I was on Arise TV.
Yes,
and I said so much on VAT.
You on Arise.
Okay, let me say something.
Okay.
That we need to know. So, Samuel, when you hear people, others complaining, that they shouldn't implement the VAT, or the state governors should not collect VAT, the state government, then people rushing to the National Assembly to smuggle in a law to amend what is on ground. It seems they hardly understand. I would not want to say anything new, but let me repeat exactly what I said on Rise TV on 23rd September morning. That was on Thursday. VAT, as of today, this month of September, do you know how much they gave me as VAT? 2 billion naira only. Only 2 billion naira as VAT. Find out all the IOCs, how much VAT have they paid to the federal government? That's number one. Then number two, Samuel, you've seen how much we've invested on infrastructure in Akwa Ibom. Take, for example, before we did Ring Road 3, find out the value of property on that road and the value of property on that road today. So if somebody sells a property on Ring Road 3 now, you know the VAT will be almost 3 times or 4 times what it used to be, because I've done a 10-lane road called Ring Road 3, and it's one of the most beautiful and smooth roads that we have in this part of the world. And the value of the property there must have gone like 4 or 5 times. Somebody disposes of a property on that road and he pays VAT. You say, I should bring that VAT to Abuja to be shared to other people. 100% my effort. Probably the money I used in doing that road was a loan. So then secondly, the contractor doing that road, I must have gone to collect a loan from Sam Bank. When I collected the loan, I'm paying interest on that loan. Then I use that loan and pay a contractor who is working on that road. And that contractor pays VAT 7.5%. Assuming I pay the contractor 100 billion. That contractor pays VAT of 7.5%. That's 7.5 billion. Do you know that 7.5 billion should have come back to me to use and even settle part of the loan I collected from the bank, or even pay the interest? But do you know, under the current arrangement, that 7.5 billion goes to Abuja. And then out of that, they will give me probably 100 million out of that. Because if you are giving me only 2 billion a month, so how much? You know, somebody who puts the meat in his mouth to share knows the portion that is left inside. Because the meat is inside your mouth. So whatever you bring out, I don't know the portion that is left inside your mouth. So that's the current arrangement of that. So once you leave you might leave the large chunk inside your mouth and just bring out a little portion and just show me. So that's exactly what we are doing. And what are we saying? We are saying that, look, we can employ you, the federal government, to collect this VAT on our behalf, and then we pay you cost of collection. In that case, we can come together and negotiate what shall be your cost of collection. Help me collect it, since you have the mechanism to collect it better than I do. I mean, and what is VAT? VAT is consumption tax. What is consumption? Exactly what I said on Thursday morning. Sam, all these things people are saying, they may not even understand what VAT stands for. See, once you have human beings, there are bound to be activities. Am I correct? Yes. Once there are activities, there will be consumption. And once there is consumption, there will be tax. Once there is tax, there is revenue. So where are you losing? It's called consumption tax. You have human beings, activity. Activity generates consumption. Consumption generates tax. Tax is revenue. So where is the complaint now from? So that's why I say the people probably who are complaining might not even have looked at it very well. Because where you have human beings, they will be. So if you're saying, Akwa Ibom, I don't have more than 7.2 million people, I'm satisfied. But leave me with the 7.2 million people. Allow me to collect consumption tax from my people. Which is also what I told people on this platform one time. You know, somebody told me, Your Excellency, we saw you the other day in Lagos. I said, come, there's something people don't understand. Lagos is where money is made. Abuja is where money is shared. And I went ahead to buttress my fact. I said, how do you know where money is made? You follow consumption tax. And that's where you know where money is made. So I don't want to go further than that, okay. So that we don't start economics 101.
Yes, Excellency, we still have a lot of questions, but we do know that before a long time we'll have the 10th in the series of this program. So we'd like to call it.
Okay, Sam, let me give you, James and Sam, let me give you a promise. This is September. I'll do one more before December. Okay, so that we can answer all the questions. Because even if I sit here for 6 hours, yes, there's no how I can answer all the questions.
Yes. Yes, let me give you expo for December.
No, I don't need expo.
Okay.
It's only students who do not read that need expo in class. No, James, there's something you don't know. I am one governor that there's no aspect in governance running from all the 32 MDAs that I don't know 100% of what happens in there. So I'm not a governor that come to the paper to read what my Commissioner for Information prepared for me. No, not at all. Yes. I'm on top of every single transaction and situation across the state. All. If you ask me, how many lecturers attended classes last month in Akwa, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. So I'm on top of every single thing. I know when the schools resume, when they are writing exams, who wrote the exams, who didn't write the exams, how many numbers wrote the exams. I know how a patient went to Tukumbang and he wasn't attended to. You've heard me severally. My commissioner for health will tell you. I said, I'm calling him. I said, so patient went to Guitaron and he wasn't attended to. They will be shocked. How did I get to know that such a patient went there and he wasn't attended to? I'll tell them, look, in this our agric farm in so place, thieves went there and harvested all the cassava. Just check if they are Akwa Ibom people. Well, let's know. If they are not, still let me know. So, you see, and on top of everything, I'm not an absentee governor. I'm a governor that is here, hands-on. So there's hardly any aspect. So I don't need Expo. Expo is for those, those days in the university.
Yes, listen, the way you handle questions on this program shows that all this question. On that, I'd like to thank you. Thank you so very much for joining us on the program. But we, like you said, we're very busy running around so many things. When next we come, we'd like to know how you will create and how you will laugh and how much you have for your family and all that. Those were the things.
Work-life balance.
Let's keep that for the next edition.
James, but work-life balance is actually done in business school. But thank you so much. Let me use this opportunity once again to, at our 34 years of existence as a people, appreciate those who are alive and those who fought for this state and are no more alive. Let me also thank IBB. The military president that created our state is still alive today. Our gratitude goes to him. There's nothing we could have done if he did not create it. But for the fact that he created it, we need to show gratitude. So on behalf of the good people of this state, I thank him. And I thank the military administration of that time. And I also want to appreciate all the former governors from day one. I think the first governor was Tunde Ogbeha. From, I think he retired as a major general. I think so, but he retired as a general. So, once a general is a general, somewhere. Whether it's brigadier or so, one-star general is a general. So he retired as a general. So let me start from him and really appreciate every single past governor in this state had made contribution. Both the civilian governors and military administrators. And that is why, James, since I came into office, I'm one human being. No matter how you dribble me in a question, I will never say anything bad against any of my predecessors. They are all fantastic people. I love all of them. I love all of them. All predecessors, and no matter what. Forget all that they write in the internet. Since Udom Emmanuel, since I was born, James, I've never written one sentence position against any human being. Not to talk of a predecessor who helped also develop the state. When you read all those things, know that it's not me, Udom Emmanuel. I pray for the predecessors, I pray for the state, I pray for everybody. So I love all of them, I appreciate their contribution, and I also pray that future people that will come after us will have that same sense of dedication, service and passion, and sincerity to serve the people, so that forward ever and backward never. Akwa Ibom at 34, congratulations Akwa Ibomite, congratulations to all, especially also James. Let me appreciate our fathers in faith. These are people, there's no king that succeeded in the Bible that there were no prophets behind him. The prophets behind me, Paul Apostle said, for we are many in this city. All of them had contributed to the success of this government. They pray for the government, they stand by me, they support me. I just pray that the same support, the same prayer will go. When you hear somebody just standing aside to look for a name for himself, does a fish struggle inside the river to swim? He does not. So when you people struggling to look for a name, sons of faith, daughters of faith, know that they are struggling somewhere. A fish does not struggle inside the river to swim. So don't go out of your spiritual calling. Then try. The question is, what has God told you? If you can come to the Akwa Ibomite and kneel down, let all lay hands on you for what God has told you, and then you leave the next minute, then we'll now know. But if God has not said anything, then you keep quiet. So on that note, I appreciate every single person for their support. The youths, the women, the adults, the party, our political party, the PDP, both at the state, at the national level. I cannot thank everybody enough, but I just want to express my sincere thanks to all Akwa Ibomites in Nigeria and in the diaspora. And I just want to say, yeah, Ika, Iso, forward ever, backward never. Thank you and God bless you all.
So something to your Excellency Governor. And so listeners and viewers all over the world, I'd like to thank you for staying tuned. It's been 2 hours, 2 solid hours with His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Udom Emmanuel. And we thank him for giving us insight into how governance has run in the state in the last 6 years and for all that his predecessors have been doing. On behalf of every one of us here, not forgetting my colleagues, Samuel Enobong Okpan, Naomi Young, and of course, Baron Nabasi, we'd like to thank the Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Emmanuel Akwa Ibom, for having time to be here, and of course, the Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Comrade Udom Emmanuel, and another member of the State Executive Council, Pastor Sonny Boot, of course, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Information and Strategy, Mr. Ian Jameson, the Chief Press Secretary, to the Governor, Mr. Kerete Udo, the DJ KBC, was also here, Pastor Netu, who helped to coordinate the mother broadcaster, the KBC. The General Manager of the Pioneer newspaper, Mr. Umoite, has been here. In a very special way, we'd like to thank the man who helped us on the social media, Mr. Solomon Ayo, the essay to the governor. He did a very fantastic job. If you are watching us anywhere in the world, he did that job. For information, we had over 3.8 million followers across all the social media handles. Kudos to Solomon Ayo for doing a very fantastic job. Your Excellency, we also had a special guest, the chairman of the editorial board of the Nation newspaper, a gentleman who wants to become an Akwa Ibom. Well, Akwa Ibom, his name is Mr. Sam Omatashe. Welcome. He was here. We thank him for being here. And so, on behalf of every one of us, let us also thank all the radio stations in Akwa Ibom, KBC TV, Radio Akwa Ibom 90.5 FM, Planet FM 101.1 FM, Comfort FM, Inspiration, Excel, Passion, Premium, Unio, Heritage. All the radio stations in Akwa Ibom State hooked up to this program. And for the last 2 hours, it was Akwa Ibom all over the world. Thank you for joining us on the program. We'll join you with the promise of His Excellency the Governor before December for the 10th in the series. And so, on behalf of every one of us here, my name is James Edit. I thank you for staying tuned. We'll see you when next we are back. Bye-bye.